Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Coach's Corner with the fabulous, phenomenal Coach Hadassah and myself, Coach Cotton. We are so glad you guys are here today. How you doing, Coach?
I am wonderful. How are you, Coach?
I'm wonderful now that you're back. I'm feeling more confident now that you're back in the mix of things. Are you well rested, Coach?
No, I am well rested. I just needed 3.5 hours. That's all I needed. It was three and a
I'm
half
so
hours.
much more better now that.
we got,
Oh Lord!
look,
But no, I'm just joking with you, Coach. But it was funny. It was funny.
yes. We have 24 hours in a day and a night, and I mean, all you need is a good 3.5,
Facts, right?
hours, and so that's what I got. I got me 3.5 hours in, and it was just the time of day that it was. That's all. But I'm
Gotcha.
back.
You are back, and you
I'm back.
you
I'm
look
back,
you
and I
look
see.
refreshed. Your skin looks clearer. You look like you're glowing.
Yeah, great, great. Yes.
But
You say
no,
what
Coach,
dress
no,
you
and
glowing?
you glowing, Coach. Look, that's what I'm gonna make sure. I was gonna
Glowing.
tell you before we went live. I was like, "Does Coach got something to drink?" But I see you do have something to drink today, so I ain't want you
Oh
coughing. I'm like, we
yes.
don't need nothing. So, Coach, we do have a slight announcement that we're gonna cut the Coach's Corner down to 30 minutes, but we may extend to like 45 minutes. So, all of you, we just want to share that with you. We will not be on an hour simply because we want to allow people time to work their business, to do things they need to do, and to apply the coaching that we give out. Apply the training, apply the tips, apply everything that we're learning here with Extreme Effects Global Academy and this common unity, from personal development to the millionaire mastermind training to the trading as a skill set to the building and network marketing. So we want to make sure that everyone's not spending so much time, on Zoom and not having the opportunity to really go to work. It's network marketing, and learning to trade is a skill. So we want to just be fair across the board and make sure that you're getting your investments return, or your return on your investment. And so, Coach, I'm
Yes.
excited about that. When you shared it to me, and I will be transparent for a minute because I was struggling a little bit with it. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice this morning, but I was also too just a little tight. It's been raining down here, so my body go through some little spells. But I was struggling with it, and I was just like, "What we doing now?" Like that was my attitude. It was really negative. Let me just be honest. It was not a good attitude. Let me not kid y'all. I was just really like, and then I got to a point that I was kind of nonchalant, like, I can't really worry about it. And I'm like, no, that's not the right attitude, because you have to be in a place where you can talk about it. And I'm like, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it just with more than I have going on. And then as I had laid down for a little second, and I was thinking about it, and I was just talking to God, just in a conversation. I'm like, okay, Lord, what is this meaning? Why am I receiving it like an offense or a frustration? And as he began to talk back to me, he was like, well, it's not. But it does free up more time. The whole point of you having this opportunity is time freedom, and for you to work your business. And Coach, it just resonated me about ownership, entrepreneurship, the big picture. And he kind of whooped me in the way that I received, the change that we will have to make. And I worked through it, and I got a full better understanding, and I'm really excited about it. Not that I'm excited not to be on here with you or with our viewers for 60 minutes versus 30 or 45 minutes, but it gives me more accountability. more time to really do what I need to do. Because, like, we have goals, coach. There's strategy that we trying to do. There's plans that we're making, and we have to take action on them. And how can anyone do that? Even with our founders, Adrian said it so eloquently on our founders call this evening, and it just kind of confirmed my conversation with my Heavenly Father that we have to make time to do what we said we're going to do. And that's in your business, and that's in your, whether it's professional or personal life, because you want freedom. But freedom doesn't come naturally, freedom comes with work. And if people are not working, you're not going to get free. And so tonight, we're talking about ownership, coach, and I want you to take over because, like I said, I had to work through it. And I'm so glad that I did because I had the wrong perception. And a lot of people say that perception is your reality, and that's a lie because you can have a perception for something, but when you're in your own way, when you're clouded in your own judgment or you're in your emotions, your perception can be a false sense of your reality. And that's not your reality, if that makes sense, coach. But take it, coach. Take it, coach.
Yes. But yes, that's I mean, that's true. Just like you mentioned that and we hear that all the time, perception is reality. But our perception can be twisted.
Yes.
And that's what
Yes.
that brings me to what happened in just kind of bring a little scripture into it in the garden, because the garden really symbolizes our mind. That is
Right.
the garden, right? And when reality is twisted within our own mind, then the perception is twisted and we can get things misconstrued and all of that. So
Absolutely.
um I'm glad that you had that conversation. Right
Right.
within bringing it in and stuff, because
Yeah.
it um I won't say that I had that same conversation, but pretty much that's what came up to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes. Um, of course, we don't want to live on Zooms all day,
Right.
and
All the
we're
time.
not. Yeah, and we're not. Just really look, working out our own salvation, because that's really what that is.
Absolutely.
We are. There's a different kind of work that we're doing. And work is work, but we want to work out our own salvation. We want to work towards freedom. We want to work towards freedom of our time. And when we use our
Right.
time wisely, like say, okay, I'm in here, this is my new office now in my house. And this is my little planner right here. And I'm writing everything down and then just following that in my planner. That's just keeping track of the time, keeping track of what it is that I'm doing in my business. And then
Right.
we have this platform of the Coach's Corner that we've been doing since April, and
Right.
it's really to do what it is that we say that we do with our tagline, helping you get to the next level. But we
Absolutely.
don't necessarily have to, of course, an hour can be utilized towards one-on-one with
Right.
with someone, coaching clients, our common unity or something like that, to help them to get past certain things, certain blocks, to help them in their business. But this platform was really created for those who whether you're in our common unity at Extreme FX or not, it
Right.
still helps you to get to that next level, to um help you see things differently. And so
Absolutely.
a lot of people have contacted us, whether it was one-on-one in person, or um here on the Coaches Corner to say, like, hey, it's a great thing that you all are doing because it really does help me, and that's good, and we can do that in 30 minutes. We really
Right,
can.
right.
We
We
we we
absolutely
can.
we can.
Yeah, we can do that in 30 minutes, and it's okay. We're here 3 days a week, and so 30 minutes, and pretty much that's people's 30 minutes is more than some people's attention span anyway. So
Right.
yeah, so we're just honoring the time. We are honoring and being respectful of the platform, our common unity, extreme effects, things like that. So that kind of leads us into our topic today of
Right.
ownership, right? Ownership versus cash flow. Um, there was a post that I saw from one of our founders, one of the founders, co-founders, Adrian Dynamite Sloan, in which you all,
Mm-hmm.
did the StreamYard StreamYard
Right.
test today, right? And it was oh my gosh, when I saw that post, hey Amberly, when I saw that post, I was just like, wow, it was on fire to me because I remember posting something very similar like that some years back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember having this conversation, and like, look, I'm a person, I don't like bills. I don't. I don't.
Me either.
I just don't. I don't
I
like
don't like
bills.
them. I do not
I
like
don't
them
like.
saying I am.
I do not like them saying I am. I do not like
I
them green
don't.
eggs and ham, or whatever. I just don't like them, and I
Right.
don't like paying them. I'm gonna be honest. I do not like paying them. Okay, and so when you know that you don't like paying bills, you don't create them. If
That's
you
a
don't,
cold word.
you know what I'm saying? You don't like paying bills, you don't create them, and so if there's, I always been this person where um cause say, like, for instance, okay, cars, right? Let's just
Mm-hmm.
take cars. Now we have our, okay, say, we're in a home or whatever, and whether we own it or whether we're renting or something like that, I mean, you gotta pay it. But I'm that person that, man, if I had 250,000, 300,000, 500,000, or whatever, honey, I will find me a nice 250, $300,000 house in a nice neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I will drop that whole. I pay for it cash. I will.
Right.
And we all know, if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you, if you make a purchase over $9,999.99,
You will get
um,
flagged.
you're gonna start being investigated, because there's a
Yeah.
system in place that's like, it's the system that we have now is really debt slavery. And so if you
Right.
make a big purchase like that, you will be investigated like you a criminal. Although you may not be doing any type of criminal activities, but just because you made a purchase one penny over $9,999.99, next thing you know, folks is looking into your DNA, your blood type, your bank, and everything. Okay. But because I know I'm not that person to be doing any illegal activity or whatever, I'm just like, okay, investigate me. But what I won't do is have this money and buy myself debt, because that's really all
Right.
that's really all we do. We take a little bit of money and we buy debt, and then we enslave ourselves to a mortgage payment. Look up the word
Mm-hmm.
mortgage in the etymology, look in a dictionary or etymology dictionary. Mortgage means death certificate.
Dead. Wow.
That's what mortgage
Really?
means. It means death certificate,
Wow.
mortgage. right? And then also, because you know how we do with words,
Right.
the word debt, when you look it up in the Hebrew lexicon, um, it means deception, loan,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Right.
so it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And we could try to spin it how we want to. Oh, good debt, bad debt, good debt, good deception.
Right. It's still deception.
It's still deception,
Mm-hmm.
and the deception is that we think that we're doing something by getting into these type of things. So say for instance, like I was saying, a car. um if I had the money, I'm gonna pay for it cash, flat out. I do not want a car note because
Right.
they depreciate as soon as you drive
Because
them
you
off
drive
the
off the
lot,
lot.
right? They
Absolutely.
depreciate. And look, you ever had a car where you paid the full note on time for the entire, length of the loan or whatever, and as soon as you make that last payment, next thing you
It
know,
break
something
down.
happens,
You want to
it
shop?
break down. It's in the. It's like, do they have a button for that? Now you're going to buy a new one, right? And so, and then the interest on top. You done paid for this thing 5 times more than what it was worth,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
You bought
And
that car
so
twice.
you bought it twice, 3, 4 times. And
True.
so I've always been that person where I'm like, if I can, I'm paying cash. You know how many cars that I have bought cash? Or if I didn't have the full cash, I made sure that I wasn't paying any more than about 12 to 18 months on it.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, I was out. Listen, by the time I mean, I would take tax refunds, whatever. I pay for like 8 months. Next thing you know, it's tax time, and
Mm-hmm.
having a home based business, how you can, um,
Right off and everything.
really save on
Get
your
your
taxes and
deductions.
things like that. Get my deductions, and so when I got the refund, I was looking for stuff to pay off,
Right.
right?
Right.
Pay off. Like I want to not have
Want to
debt.
be look debt free, free
Want to
of
be
debt.
debt free of debt, right? And so I would call like, hey, how much do I have
Mm-hmm.
left on this? And it was so funny. Sometimes I remember one time I called because I had a relationship with the car dealer, car dealership and people, and so I would get my cars from there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I
Wow, that's
called
good.
and I was like, how much do I have left on the payment? And he was like, it's paid off already. I was like, what? He said, yeah, it's been paid off. You kept sending money, so we kept taking it. I was
So
like,
shady. That's
he
so
said,
shady.
but no, the thing is, I remember him calling and he asked me something about it just went over my head. He asked me something about, well, do you want to do it? It was something I was like, oh, okay. I just brushed it off. Girl, I kept sending him money. And so he was like, you got a credit. I'm like, a credit? He said, yeah, you paid the car off already. I said, and so that allowed me to go in, and with the credit that I had,
Right.
I was either going to do two things. I was going to get my car fixed that I paid off, that I didn't know I paid off, or take that money and to put down to buy my son a car because he was in school at the time. He was in
Right.
school and wanting to get this job. And so I let him know. I said, look, I got this credit. We could use that towards, you getting a car. Said the only
Mm-hmm.
thing is though, number one, I'm not paying your car note and I'm not paying your insurance.
Right.
So and then you make sure you get this job because all I'm doing is taking this to do this part, right?
Right. You just moving
So
money. That's really.
I'm just right. I'm just shifting. It's like I'm helping you out, bruh, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not paying your car note and I'm not paying insurance. I just paid mine off.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So
Overpaid mine.
right, I overpaid mine off. So so I get home and of course I got my title and everything, and I do look just like Adrian had. He had this folder with deeds and
Mm-hmm.
titles, right? That
Titles, yes.
shows ownership.
Ownership.
And so I had to, and you know, it was, and especially back then, this was several years ago, and people are still doing it now, you know, taking pictures with a whole bunch of money and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I took a picture of my you know, like statements with zero balances
Right.
and my titles to what I owned.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, how about we share pics of zero balances and titles,
Right.
ownerships, what money can do or really is supposed to do for us because it's a
Right.
tool, right? It's a tool. I'm not impressed about the money because you could be, look, we could be flashing all this money and then
All
sitting up
day
here or sitting there all day and we in the red. But
and
we
be in
flashing all
debt
this money,
and
right?
broke.
And then flashing all this money, we in the red. But you know, we sitting up here like we making it rain or whatever. No, what are we really doing? You know. So when he shared that just the other day, I was like, I'm like, listen, is you are you in my house? You know, we're fly on the
Right.
wall or whatever. I'm like, because I promise you, I did and said this same thing like some years ago. I had posted something like that. And so that's what he was saying, that look, money is it's a tool. Like the scriptures say, money
Right.
answereth all things, but it only answers it if you're using it in order
Right.
to answer what you've been praying for. You know, I want to get out of this and get out of that. Okay, now you have the money. Now what are you utilizing the money for? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, what
Right.
are we doing with it? We are really supposed to be using it in order to meet whatever those needs are, not to just have it and hoard it or waste it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We are really supposed to use it to, you know, look, buy back our time,
Absolutely.
you know, buy our freedom. And we're buying our freedom if we utilize it to get out of debt, but then stay out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
but when I was talking like that, it was like going in one ear out the other, going over folks' heads, you know, and I remember being told, like, you know, every look, we supposed to do what everybody else is doing. Look, I don't know what you're gonna do, but
Right.
I'm not doing what everybody else is doing because
I can't
everybody
even afford to do what everybody else is doing.
no. You know what I'm
My
saying? It's like
cash flow don't work like that. I have to do what works for me, and that is when I get it, I need to be taking care of something so I can own it, or is I don't owe nobody. Either
exactly.
look, it's either
This,
OWN or OWE. I own it or I don't owe somebody.
right. Exactly.
Owe versus
You know,
own. That's
like
what
the
that should have been
scripture
the
said,
topic of this.
oh, no man, nothing but love.
But
Period.
love.
Point blank. The end. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what are we using our cash flow for? And when and that's the thing about it. We're talking, you know, we're talking wealth, but we're talking legacy wealth. And
Right.
of course, that starts with, you know, it's who is, or put it this way, are you trustworthy? Right? Can our Heavenly Father trust us
Mm-hmm.
with the you know, with this money?
Absolutely.
Can we be trusted with it in order to get out of debt slavery and then
Right.
really take ownership and then leave an inheritance to our children's children, which is our grandchildren? But then also not only that, but teach those wealth principles so that they know what to
Right.
do with money as well, and leave that legacy. Like Adrian always says, he's like, you know, how does he say it? Um, basically what we I forgot how he said, but it's something about how, you know, basically what's in our minds is in our pockets,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
You know, because the scripture said wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times and the strength of our salvation. We can have a
Mm-hmm.
pocket full of money, but if we don't have anything up here in order to do
We
what
don't
we
know how
need
to
to
use
do
it.
with it, we don't know how to use it. We don't know how to use the tool. You know,
Right.
it's like me taking a hammer and trying to curl my hair with it.
You don't know. That's not what that's used for.
That's not what it's used for.
Right. There's no wisdom. There's no understanding. And so we got to get to a point to where we got to be able to be good stewards over what he has given us. And if he has blessed you to be financially comfortable, financially stable, then you don't want to mismanage that. You want to be a good steward. You want to be able to manage that. You want to be faithful over what he has given you, because that way, that's how you maximize what he has given you. That's how you help others with what he has given you. And so we got to always remember that. That's a key fact. You know, people, a difference, you always say a lot too, coach, it's a difference between being rich and wealthy. Wealthy people have options. They make the right decisions concerning the money, concerning the cash flow. Rich people don't operate the same because they just looking at the actual currency. They're looking at, oh, I got a lot of money, but what decisions are you making with the money that you have? What direction is your money flowing to? What type of streams do you have that is pouring over into? What's the waterfall of the currency? And that's what people don't really grasp. But when we're talking about ownership, then you don't owe nobody. So your cash flow is able to be now distributed to the right places with the right wisdom behind it. And you know how to allow your money now to work for you, and you're not working for money. It wasn't even designed like that. It was never created for you to work for the money. That's a slave ship mentality. But the money was always supposed to work for you. It was a benefit to you. It was an inheritance to you. So, you know, it's so great that we're talking about ownership, and yes, to have titles and deeds and land. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to understand the root of everything. I tell people all the time, when you was talking about mortgages earlier, you can have a house, but they can take the house and then, I mean, they can take the land and you just have no house to put on the land. How about own the land? Who cares
Right.
about the home or what property or structure sits on the land? I care about the land. That's where the value is. That's where you got buyer's equity. That's where you can control and manage and own some things. It's the land. So I would rather buy the land over the home that sits on the land, because you can come
Exactly.
knock the home down, take it away, or do whatever, but you can't take the land that it sit on if I
Exactly.
own it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to remember to have that mentality shift, that mind shift, and to think in different terms when it comes down to owning, when it comes down to entrepreneurship, when it comes down to cash flow versus ownership.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
believe that you can own it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop being so minimal thinkers. Believe that you can
Mhm.
own that. Like, you know, my mom's generation, they didn't believe that they can own stuff. They didn't really know too much about business and ownership and entrepreneurship. But now things have changed. You can own stuff. This can be yours. You can be the guarantee over this property, over these assets, right? And so we got to continue to think that and teach that. That's financial literacy. That's generational wealth principles. But that's all I
Yes.
gotta say about it.
Yes. And I'm gonna say this and then we could wrap it up, you know, with this because our time has come, right? Our
Good
time has
morning.
come that that uh I'm excited about the new products that we have, that our new financial literacy products that's rolling out,
Mhm.
you know, Extreme FX Financial Solutions,
Yes.
because it takes that. Listen, we know credit, right? You know, we
Right.
got credit, we got good credit or bad credit,
Mhm.
and you know, if you have bad credit, you could you know, repair and restore your credit and everything. But there's more to it, right?
Right.
There's more to it. Like we could clean up our credit and repair it and everything, but then there's the you know, there's restructuring the credit,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
We have to restructure it. Um and then we have to restructure the personal credit in
Right.
order to get business credit.
Right.
And then when we have business credit, there's a way to structure that to where now we become our own, our own bank and financial solutions, and
Right.
then utilize that business credit to to build and pour into our business and things like that. And
To
I
now
love
change from being the borrower into doing what the scripture says, that we are the lender and not the borrower.
and exactly, we're the lender and not the borrower. And so
Right.
I just love what we're doing in our community,
Yes.
in our common unity in Extreme FX, because we are, man, I mean, it's like a
Right.
one-stop shop. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where you learn the skill set in
Hmm.
order to tap into a $7.3 trillion market. And
Right.
so now that we over here doing, look, $42,000 in a day, $200,000 in a week, or something like that.
Right.
We're not sitting here like, okay, what do we do with all this money? Because we've never made that in a day before or
Right.
in a week before, right? And so now what do we do? Well, now we know exactly what to do. If our credit was shot, we can utilize our own business in order
Right.
to clean up our credit, restructure it and everything, not use our personal credit
Right.
for business, right? We use business credit. We become our own financial solutions
Hmm.
to where we're funding our own business and things like that. And like I said, we know exactly what to do with it, and teach our children this
Right.
as well, because why are we doing what we're doing? We're doing
Absolutely.
it in order to leave an inheritance and a legacy for them. But if they don't know what it is that we know, in order to really give them the baton so that they can keep on moving and keeping everything in the surplus, then that means
Hmm.
that we've done all of that in vain. Leave them something that they don't know what to do with, and then next thing you know, in a good 2 to 3 years,
It's
they
gone.
it's gone. They're back in debt because
Right.
they've used the money and the things that we left, and our hard work is in vain now.
Yeah.
And they've got, like I said, went back into debt slavery, and we don't want to do that
At all.
at all. That would be a disservice to not only us but our children and
Hmm.
and and our legacy. So I'm really excited about that.
Me
I really
too.
am. Yes. So this wraps up the coach's corner for today,
That's
right?
it.
We're here Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, with the amazing Coach Cotton and myself, Coach Hadassah, again, where we help you get to your next level. So peace, and see you on Wednesday. And and today is Monday. We do have our Extreme FX Young Guns sizzle call today at at 7. Is that 7? Yes, at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Is that 7 p.m. Central? Yes, it is at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, come on over, see what it's all about. As a matter of fact, let me put that information up here really quick, because I talked about that, with leaving a legacy to for our children. So you're invited. You're invited over here to
Absolutely.
hear this call with our Extreme FX Youth Entrepreneurship and Development Program. All right. And you want to go to www.newmembers.org, and the password is icon. All right.
Yes.
So we'll see you over there. Okay. Have a great evening. Peace.